So basically, I've been overweight all my life. Been to the extremes, basically.
Yeah.
My body's been to 87, to 47.
I've had like a really interesting journey into becoming coaching, into becoming a coach, and a little bit different to most.
But I was coming home and eating for entire village.
8 o'clock in the morning, I'll have fish and a rice cake.
Okay, welcome back to Fish and a Rice Cake. I'm Jake. This is not Jake.
Bianca.
This is Bianca, and we'll introduce you to Bianca in a second, but bit of a different episode today. As you can see, little Jake is not here, it's just big Jake today. And I've got one of my clients with me, Bianca, client for both business and body, actually. We can dive into that a little bit later on. And Bianca is a female fitness coach. As in, you help females. You're also a female yourself. How long have you been coaching now?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. And you've got a really cool kind of interesting journey into coaching, and also obviously been through a really big transformation yourself. And we're doing some really cool things with your own training at the moment as well. So I've been desperate to get you on for ages, because you've got some real kind of strong beliefs and values around certainly kind of what women should be focusing on with their own training and values and opinions on that. So I wanted to get you on and talk about that stuff. But before we do, give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself, just to explain who you are, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm Bianca, I'm a female. So basically, as from 83 kg to the photo shoot condition, it took me, So basically, I've been overweight all my life, overweight, dieting. And I think I start lifting a few years back, and I found this passion for fitness. And obviously I was, lifting, but eating for entire village, going home. Like the nutrition was not there. So obviously that's why I start, studying nutrition and basically connecting all that. And
take us back to, because obviously you come from Romania, right? And how long have you been in the UK now?
10 years.
10 years, okay.
Yes,
I thought it was less than that, right? Because 10 years, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And did you train when you were back home as well, or was this like a newfound passion when you came over here?
I did train, I think, back home for a couple of months before coming here.
Okay.
But I was just doing random stuff and more cardio, to be honest.
Yeah, you've told me about where your parents live as well, and that's it's essentially in the middle of nowhere, right? So was that where you were training?
No, when I was at university, because I've been studying political science for 5 years. So so now I'm a fitness coach. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit, because you've had like a really interesting journey into becoming coaching, into becoming a coach, and a little bit different to most. And everybody has their own little unique entries into to coaching, and often it comes off the back of your own transformation or something that you've done with your own physique. So you, like you say, you went to university and studied something totally different. So tell us a little bit about that.
When I finished my uni, my master's degree, I applied for the jobs in Romania, and they asked for money for that.
Okay.
Yes, that was the impulsion was just like that to come to UK, because I was so pissed off. Like, I've been studying 5 years, and you asked me for money to work in the system.
And that's politics.
Yes. Okay. Politics. So I came here, and in London, apparently I was overqualified.
Okay. To work in politics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that led you into
care.
Care?
Yes. A job that, I will be honest, I hate it. Every single minute. Hate it.
Yeah. And how long, so did you do that? How long were you doing the care job for?
I don't know, since I came here, basically.
Since you came here? Okay. And when you say care, like what kind of care?
Healthcare, like with older people.
Okay.
Dementia. It's
cool.
Challenging.
And then how long have we been working together? So we started working together on a business front. So you came to me, I want to say 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Was it about 2 years?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so about 2 years ago. And obviously you've been making content around fitness for ages, and you'd actually built up like a really good audience on Instagram. I think about 100,000 followers, right? So obviously you had a lot of people following you, but wasn't really translating into clients at the time.
No, because I was posting just recipes.
Yeah.
And all those followers is just, they come in for recipes.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, the followers doesn't matter.
Yeah. We have a lot of coaches listening to this. So if you're a coach listening, remember, when we take the piss out of recipes, there's a reason.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
gain all
reason.
these followers, but based on sweet potato brownies recipes. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the first thing that we did really was actually try to kind of get people to unfollow you to a certain
Yes,
extent and
yeah.
actually change your content so you were on camera speaking about your values and your opinions and shock horror. I mean, 2 years later now, obviously no
Yeah.
longer working in
Yeah.
care, full-time coach. And yeah, it's going pretty well, isn't it?
Doesn't matter like the followers.
Yeah.
Like I'm not bothered anymore. I am not. You can have 1,000 followers, but if you have the good ones, you will have a full-time job as a coach.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the right people, not more people. Cool. So that gives a bit of an insight into how we got over here. So I want to go into the physique stuff a little bit more. So obviously you mentioned that you were 83 kilos.
Yeah.
And is that when you came here? Was that
No,
like...
it was before, and I'm pissed off because I don't have photos.
Okay.
Because I was so, oh my God, uncomfortable.
Okay.
So
And does that stem back to like just when you were younger? Like talk us through that.
Yeah, when I was in high school, and yeah, I've been yo-yo dieting and following these trendy diets, and after I was gaining a lot of weight, not moving. So yeah, and after slowly, when I start, here, falling in love with fitness and with nutrition, then yeah, it's like shit, like it's a different way
Okay.
to build muscles.
Yeah, cool. And so obviously you started off, kind of like you say, you're unhappy with how you
Yeah.
looked in terms of carrying too much weight. This is way before we even started working together, way
Well,
before.
I don't think I mentioned this to you. When I start, studying nutrition, I didn't had in my head to be a coach.
Okay.
It was for me.
You just wanted to learn.
For me, yes,
Yeah.
because I did reach out to a coach, online coach in Romania. She was in Romania, but I was here. And she was just giving out meal plans. And I'm not the girl for the meal plans. Don't tell me like...
Chicken and broccoli eight times
I
a day.
can. So, it was for me, actually. And this is how I start posting, actually, my recipes, what I eat in a day. But it was for me. It was not like building a business.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We were actually just talking to Val about this earlier, how like as a coach, documenting just your journey
Yeah.
is just so incredibly important, right? Because that does build that audience. And although maybe it wasn't bringing clients through the
Yeah.
door, and again, that probably wasn't the focus.
Yeah.
And that's the right way to go about it, right? Because then you've got that ability to change that further down the line. Cool. So how you mentioned that you kind of fell in love with fitness, and obviously that led you into studying nutrition and things. So what made you fall in love with fitness? What was the thing?
Muscles.
Okay.
It's addicted. Like, I just fucking love it. When
Okay.
I look in the mirror, I love it.
Yeah.
I just love it. Like I flex all the time. Like I walk past, through the boys. Like move. Do you use these dumbbells? No, fucking move. I'm like, I love it. And it's not just for physique right now. It's for future me.
Yeah.
Because I have in my family, my mom, my grandma. Yeah, dealing with all kind of problems, and because of lack of muscles.
Well, you see it with like sarcopenia,
Yeah.
osteoporosis. Obviously, you will have seen it in your
Yeah.
job as well, right?
Yeah,
Your
yes.
care job. Like people if
Have
you
a fall. That's it.
yeah,
Goodbye.
if you stay active, if you've got muscle, it's and again, I think a lot of people, because when we speak to people about building muscle, a lot of it is like people think it's just aesthetics. And don't get me wrong, there's an element in it. Like,
Yeah.
we all want to look good. Who doesn't want to look good, of course? But there's so much more to it. It's like what
Yeah.
it gives you, the quality of life it gives you outside of that is just amazing. So how did you? Because like you say, obviously you mentioned there you wanted to build muscle. By this stage, obviously carrying more weight than what you wanted to as well, right? So
Yeah.
maybe not that understanding of nutrition just yet. So was it like, did you start in the gym? Like what came first? Was it the nutrition or the gym? What was the first thing?
First thing was the gym with a PT before studying the nutrition. So I was going in the gym. He was absolutely butter me in the gym.
Okay.
Like the guy, love him. But I was coming home and eating for entire village. Like,
Okay.
I'm not joking. Like I remember my portions. And I was getting bigger,
Yeah.
bulky, but not because of the muscles, because I was fatty. Like,
Yeah, you were probably building muscle as well.
yes,
but
of
you couldn't
course.
see
You
it, right?
couldn't see it, like,
okay.
and that was like, oh God, like something is missing. So
Okay.
this is how it starts. Like I need to focus on the nutrition because the gym is sorted with Ross. But at home I need to sort this shit out.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, this is how we started, and after the phases.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, I think that's it, isn't it, right? Like, I mean, it's nice to see that you found the gym first and it wasn't like centered all around weight loss initially.
No.
Because you start to see the benefits of what the gym brings you, and then you can bring the other stuff in on top. And listen, we've all been there. Me and Jacob spoke about it multiple times on this podcast, like going through the dirty bulks when we were young, which was essentially just training hard, but then just eating like shit, right? And it doesn't really get you very far. You just...
But see, that's why I reach out to you for the physique part, because... you know, I start to get uncomfortable because I'm getting, you know, a bit fatty, I'll say. But, and I will never push myself that much.
Yes. We'll talk about that soon. We'll talk about that soon, because that is important. That's something that I really want to dig into. Cool. So we found the gym, found a love for fitness. Obviously, that was then leading you into wanting to go further down the nutrition route. So you took it upon yourself to just go and get a nutrition degree. What was that? What did that look like?
So I studied, I don't know, a year and a half or 2 years for that. And I start posting, like I said, on Instagram, and I start to apply on me. And it's like, oh shit, this is working.
So you were kind of coaching yourself, essentially.
Yeah, like, because that was my goal first. Like nothing, I didn't know what to do with my life like at that point. But this is how it started. And people start asking, like, well, you look amazing, what you've been doing. Like, I'm eating. What do you mean eating? And I do remember my I used to take, you know, all my food at work because I used to work 12-hour shifts. So I had my breakfast at home, snack there, lunch there, another snack. So I was going, you know, with a lot of food, and people are like, are you eating all that food and you are like so skinny? I'm like, don't call me skinny. Like, first of all,
I'm strong.
I am strong. And and this is, I was thinking, you know what, I like what I'm doing. I think I could help people. So
it just developed from there. So you self-coach yourself essentially from what, 83 kg down to 50, I don't know, 55. That's amazing. So basically 30 kilos.
But I one point I was 47, but not here in UK. When I was like yo-yo dieting, I've been to the extremes basically. My body's been to 87, to 47.
40 kilos difference. Yeah, crazy.
Like, I have been there.
But that lived experience is one of the reasons, along with obviously your knowledge and things, but that lived experience is one of the reasons that you'll be such a good coach for your clients, because your clients will have all experienced these things at some stage, whether they're in the middle of it now or they've done it in the past. So having that lived experience of been through that, also alongside your knowledge, is why you're so appealing to your clients, which is wicked. Cool. So it was the gym, then it was studying nutrition, and then I suppose from then on it was just posting about this, about the new knowledge that you were taking on. And where does that take us to in the timeline then? When does this up to around about the time you reached out to me? Kind of.
Oh, before reaching out to you, I was like drained because, I took the decision, I want to change my life. I want to be a coach. And I start doing random crap, investing in different coaches and poor advice. And I was drained. Like, I couldn't do my 4 days, 12-hour shift and posting and trying this, trying that, never have like a clear path and what to tick, the boxes. And investing, I think, around 10,000 grand before working with you.
Wow.
And it was nothing.
Yeah.
0 clients.
We see this a lot. And listen, this isn't about the business, but we're now, I think, like you say, came to me. I think you had one when you came to me, actually. If I go back to the start, I think there was one client, whereas what I know from a one-to-one perspective, now we're about 45, but we've also had 2 sold-out group launches. And just totally different, which is amazing. And you deserve it as well, because like you say, you're an incredible coach and you've been through all of this stuff, which is why you are so appealing to people. Okay, cool. So going back to like when you were back in Romania, were you into like sports or anything when you were younger? Was there anything there? Or was there nothing?
I was missing the classes.
Okay.
Oh my God, I was a fatty.
Right, okay. Interesting.
And colleagues making fun of me, like,
really?
Yes, I've been bullied. And now are in my DMs asking me.
How did you, funny how that works.
Yes.
Funny how that works. Okay, so it all came in like later life. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, cool. So all of this is kind of painting the picture for Bianca the coach to come out, okay? So tell us a little bit about the clients that you help then, which, you know, ultimately is probably going to be some kind of form of version of yourself, but more kind of who you're passionate about helping.
It is more ladies who they want to build muscles. I'll be straightforward.
Yeah.
Because these days everyone can get skinny with an injection.
Yeah.
Poof, gone. But how many can maintain and to be healthy and to look toned? Because everyone wants to look toned.
Yeah. I know you get a lot of people come to you saying, I want a physique like you, right? Which is obviously amazing. And that's really, really relevant to what's built your business up. But you and I both know there's a lot of work that goes into that, and it isn't often the things that people think it might be, because online just is full of shit, right? So tell us what annoys you about the fitness industry. And then I know there's going to be a fair amount. So I think more not just about the fitness industry, but you'll have clients come to you with certain beliefs around what has got you into the kind of shape that you're in and what they think they need to do. What do you find those things are, and what do you have to do to change your clients' minds?
Oh, is because, you know, they want to achieve a physique that in reality will take you more than a year in 3 months. And this is what social media is selling. Or they selling like, oh, you just need 2 dumbbells at home and you can get toned. And we both know, like, you will never achieve that with 2 dumbbells at home.
It's usually the little pink ones, right, from Sports Direct.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I want to build glutes, or I want to build shoulders like you, Bianca. I have 2 dumbbells at home. I don't want to go to the gym. Well, no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to sell you like a gym membership, but you have to move your ass into that gym. Like, you have to. Like, just stop being a pussy and just go.
My missus, actually, Louise, she follows you, right? And she actually said she saw a post of yours the other day, and I think it was one where I didn't remember seeing it, but she saw it and she was like, it finally sunk in, because I try and tell Louise all the time, and obviously it doesn't work. It just turns into arguments. But she's been trying to lose a little bit of weight because we're getting married later this year, and she's doing really well, to be fair, with the nutrition and things. But she saw a post that you put up where you were like, if you're not going to the gym, you're not going to get the shape that you're after, right? And like, despite what you're doing with your nutrition, you know, and listen, we say this all the time. We're massive advocates for this, but I think it's different in with the female population. It takes a bit longer for that message to sink in. I've got a lot of female clients who I really have to work hard on this, like, and there's always a lot of friction with it. Eat more, fuel for performance, train harder. That's what's going to get you the body that you really want, not the diet. The diet's just part one. So there was a reel you put out, and Louise was like, I saw Bianca's post, and it all just, like, one post just all made sense. So there you go, you're doing a good job. Yeah, so you get clients come to you, they obviously want the body that you've got, they want that toned physique, right? But obviously you can't, you know, it isn't just as simple as go to the gym either. There's a lot around nutrition, there's a lot around beliefs around training that you probably have to change. Like you say, the little dumbbells at home, probably things like, you know, I would imagine Pilates is a hot topic.
It is a hot topic, the Pilates. And I know I'm going to feather some... Oh, God, feather some feathers. Jesus. I'm going to ruffle some feathers, but Pilates doesn't build muscles.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't. They all want the toned look. But toned look, what means? Just lower body fat and some muscles. Like this, some ankle weights is not going to give you some glutes or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that. I think it's just changing those beliefs over time, right? Like, it doesn't happen straight away. Like, you have to kind of prove this to them. And I think the problem is, and again, we see it with a lot of our audience who come to us now who see things like high rocks and hybrid, etc. And I get that they see these guys with these ridiculous rigs, right? Like, they're in incredible shape, 6 packs, big shoulders, big chest. They look amazing. Like, why wouldn't you want to look like that? But I have to explain them, like, they didn't get the body through doing the high rocks, right? The body's come through traditional bodybuilding, and then they can maintain it whilst they're doing these other things. Same with Pilates, right? You see the Pilates instructor who's got a great physique. They lift weights. They got that through lifting weights. I'm not shooting Pilates down. If you want to incorporate it into
it's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. It's got so many benefits, but it's like, it's doing it alongside the other stuff. That's the thing, right? But
many coaches, like Pilates ones, they sell as strength training, the Pilates.
Yeah.
Because they incorporate the weights, and they incorporate like 5 kg weights or 10 kg. Like, come on. Like, yeah, fatigue muscle, you can do that for 30 reps. And I could do that every single day, but
Yeah.
it is not. It is bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between training fatigue
Yeah.
and training for stimulus,
Yes,
right?
of
And
course.
training fatigue is basically cardio. Like for training for stimulus of hypertrophy, there's a difference there.
Difference, but they're not willing to put the work. They want the result. They see that, but they're not willing to, like I said, to fuel the workouts. Like they're not, or like, okay, I need to lose some body fat. Let's just fucking stick to this and lose the body fat, and after switch the gears and just let's build. Like,
Okay.
because this is what I've been doing for years.
Yeah.
Like when people was like, my body in 3 months. Well, it took me fucking 6 years. Like, I've been lifting and phases, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to obviously build into at some stage. But so let's say a client comes to you initially. What are those challenges within the first 3 to 4 weeks? What are the things that you have to really help them overcome and understand within the first 3 to 4 weeks? I'm assuming that most people have to start with some form of fat loss, right? And
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, because that's why I asked for a nutrition assessment first, and
Yeah.
like the lifestyle and what they want to achieve as well. And, we look in the pictures, everything, experience in the gym, and yeah, just to find a flow. Like, okay, first we focus on this, and after we're doing this, like we mapping out the
Yeah.
journey. Are you willing to do this? Like, you want to achieve that? Yes, I want. Okay, let's crack on. Like, we need a clear path.
Yeah.
Not just...
Cool. And is it, so within those early days, is it the habits around nutrition which are the most
Yes,
important things for you? Yeah.
With some, before I even jump into a fat loss, with some we need to bring a structure with food.
Yeah.
Because the food is crap.
Yeah.
So let's just bring a structure with food to eat properly, to build the protein, because our female are up there that they eat 50 grams of protein
Yeah.
per day. 50 grams. So we need to build that before we shoot for a fat loss.
Yeah.
To build proper meals, and from there, like...
I think this is the problem, right? So people they understand that they need a calorie deficit because everyone
Yeah.
knows that they need a calorie
Yeah.
deficit nowadays. So people hear that word and just go straight into a calorie
Yeah.
deficit with their current eating patterns. And the problem is those current eating patterns don't then match up to
Yeah.
being full, satiated, happy, content. So therefore the fat loss phase always falls on its arse because the habits aren't there. So you're saying within the first few weeks, sometimes you're just like, listen, we're going to focus on
Yeah.
getting your protein up. We're going to focus on maybe more structured meal timings and
Even
meals.
more veggies.
Yeah.
People,
Okay.
they want, I'm eating veggies. When I look, it's 1 cup of lettuce. Fuck off with that. What is 1 cup of lettuce? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
And I tell my clients, the clients who they try now to build muscles, but even like on the fat loss phase, the food will show on your body.
Yeah.
It will show. Like, you will see it. If you focus on whole foods versus just ticking the box to hit your calories, but you're eating crap, you will look like a bag of potatoes.
Yeah, and it also, not only does it impact the way you look, it's like the way you feel as
Yeah.
well, right? Like your sleep's better, your digestion's
Yeah.
better, like everything just improves. And listen, I'm guilty of this. Like when I was younger, I said, if it fits your macros came in,
Yeah.
I was like, sound. I can get a Domino's into my calories. Like I'll do this every day. And then you quickly realise it's just not a
Yeah.
good way to go about it. And you just feel like shite. Now, listen, I'm not saying that I don't have we're going to have some burgers later, right? Like we will have some flexibility within our week. But what we're trying to get at is like the vast majority of your food
Yeah.
needs to be well put together.
I actually had a chat with one of my clients when I started building muscle face. Like, okay, I was eating 2,500, but still I used to have some food noise because I was focusing on hitting my macros, eating whole foods, and still when I was doing my steps around the chippy, the smell out like yeah. So
It never goes away, right?
no,
It
if
never
you
goes
eat
away.
properly.
I was saying that to one of my clients the other day, and I was explaining that I think it was on a day that I'd also eaten a kilogram of potatoes, like a full 1 kilogram, right? And I mean, and I was just like, I'm still hungry. Like, do you know, it's still that food noise is still always there. So I think it's, when some people say, I'm just a foodie, I'm like, aren't we all? Do you know what I mean? I love food. I absolutely love food. Like, I can't stand that. I'm like, no. I'm like,
Yes,
fucking
when
hell.
I hear this, like, oh, I am fat because I love food.
Like, who doesn't love food? Yeah, and no, we also have to, just because we're coaches, we do have to make a conscious effort to not just eat the things that we love every single day. And I think some people think it comes easy, and it's like, no, it's come with years and experience, and also just going through your own shit, right, and figuring that out.
That's why I stopped buying sweets and having in my house. I'm honest, like, because it does affect me on
your environment matters.
My PMS week, I'm going feral.
Oh, you're hilarious on your PMS week. Your check-ins on PMS week really make me laugh. I feel sorry for Val, who's sat in the corner. I know he's shaking in his boots thinking about it. Cool. So that's the kind of initial challenges in those first 4 weeks. What about training? Like, do you find that people come to you, like, I know you mentioned that, you know, the small dumbbells, the Pilates, etc. Do you find struggles getting people into the gym, getting them to buy into that? Or do you find, I know initially when we first made that when you first started bringing on clients, there was a period of time where the kind of people coming through the door maybe weren't completely in line with your message of like building muscle, going to the gym. Has that changed now? Are you finding that's a bit different?
Yes, it has changed, because when we started changing the niche, I found my people.
Yeah, good.
Like, they're going into the gym, and I will be honest, some of them, they are scared lifting heavier because they want to get bulky. I'm like, I'm trying to get bulky for years. Like, yeah. But yeah, it is. I found my people. I have this feeling.
Good. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want people to be in line with your message. Yeah. So you no longer have to do that convincing them to get into the... That's wicked. That's wicked. I mean, listen, you're talking about the bulky thing. If Jake was sat here now, I'd take the piss, because he's been trying to build muscle for 18 years and he's still not really built anything.
My bicep is bigger than...
You're bigger than little Jake.
Don't.
You're bigger than little Jake. You'll be fuming now. Cool. So, I think, you know, we both qualified nutritionists, etc. Right? So we're sat here going, and I think, listen, with social media and the way online is nowadays, everybody kind of understands the science behind fat loss. Yeah. The information's everywhere. Some of it's a load of shite, but the information is everywhere for the most part. And the science behind it, in terms of what we're trying to achieve, is relatively easy. It doesn't make it simple, because if it was simple, everyone would be in incredible shape, and that, you know, just isn't the case. So what do you see in particular with your clients that are like those obstacles? Is it that people are sat waiting for a clear run? Is it that it's just never the right time? Like, what are those objections that you get from people that you have to help them overcome?
They're busy. Yeah. They're busy. The kids, the husband, they prioritize everything else apart from them, but they want the result.
Okay.
All the time. And I found that it's like sometimes very hard for me to make them understand, like, okay, you need to prioritize yourself in order to achieve your goals, because it's not going to happen. You can hire me as a coach, but I'm not coming home to your home to prep your food, to push you towards the steps, to drink your water, to go to sleep, because they sleep like fucking teenagers, like 6 hours. And I'm not saying, you know, because of the kids, no, because they are scrolling, looking for more information, when I am here. Like, I'm giving you like a clear map, but you are just chasing something else. And
cool. So it's being busy, which is the main one. Yeah. And like, I suppose then that leads into the people waiting for the clear run, which we both know is never going to come, right?
Never.
Like,
and I'm not asking, like, you know, for crazy things. The simple ones, like, but do it again and again and again. I know it's boring. Like, oh, I had this breakfast again. Okay, do you want a fat ass? Do you want to look nice? Like, move. Yeah. When I see, like, oh, I just grab a granola bar for breakfast.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Right. So so these clients who come to you, they're really, really busy. They've got kids and stuff. As you know, listen, we all have shit going on. What do you put in place then to simplify that process for them? How do you go about that with them? We're
just mapping out the week, because I told them, like, sit down with your husband, with your partner, with your kids. Okay, do we have any plans? How is my work? Like, do I have Monday and Tuesday, I don't know, busy meetings, something like that? Okay, I need to make sure I have my lunch with me, my breakfast. The kids, I have any events, I don't know, husband. So you know the week, so you're one step ahead with the food.
Yeah.
Like, and I ask some of my ladies to just map out the week with the workouts. Yeah. Even if it's 45 minutes, go. Like, yeah. And I ask them, like, check your phone, your time on the phone, check it.
Yeah.
Like, and they never reply, because it's like 5 hours a week.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, innit, right? We talk about it all the time, just power of being organised. Like, you know, if you sit down at the start of the week and if you've got, you know, somebody else or, you know, your husband, whatever, your wife, whatever it might be, just sit down with them at the start of the week. And like, me and Louise have started doing this a lot more because she's now into the gym as well. And something that we'll do on a Sunday is like, when are you doing your workouts? When am I doing my workouts? Because obviously we can't both go at the same time with the kids and things. So we sit down and we're like, right, these mornings I'll go, these mornings you go. I'll sort the kids out, you sort the kids out on these days. So we've got the workouts planning. And then the reality is, like, and you'll be the same, my breakfast and lunches, they just never change, right? They're just the same every single day. And then because we've got a family, then our evening meals might change a little bit, but we'll sit down and plan them at the start of the week, and then we'll do the big shop, right? And again, like, life is easy now. You just order it online, get it delivered to your house, right? You've got the food in. And listen, even then, things are never going to go perfectly well, right? Because they never do. There's always going to be a curveball. Always going to be somebody who goes tits up. But if you've got a plan, you are going to be, the chances of you sticking to that are going to just be so much higher, right?
But sometimes I push my clients to, do the plan, the shop, but actually write down what you're going to have for fucking dinner on a Thursday evening. If I'm knocking on your door randomly and I will ask you what you have for dinner, I expect you to
Bianca does this, by the way. She does literally go and knock on her clients' doors.
And it will help. It will help. And those who are doing this boring stuff, they look incredible.
Yeah. It's boring to say, but the boring stuff works, and people see like the tip of the iceberg, don't they? So they see you in the shape that you're in now, but
I've been traveling with boiled eggs in my car.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's the boring stuff in the background which has got you to that point. It's the same with coaches who want to build businesses. I'm like, it doesn't happen overnight. It's the boring stuff in the background done for a long period of time, and then you just see the tip of the iceberg, and like, someone becomes an overnight success, but it's like, actually, no, it's lots of time doing the boring shit in the background, right? Cool. So let's go into the next phase, because obviously we've mentioned it. You get a lot of women who come to you and kind of want to look like you, right? They want to have that toned physique. They want to build the muscle. And we know you've not built your physique through Pilates, through doing steps, right? Just through losing a little bit of weight. Like, it has not come through that the same way that anyone who's got that kind of athletic tone physique hasn't. It's been done through resistance training, progressive overload over time, making sure, again, that you're sticking to programs. You're not program hopping, which I imagine is something that potentially a lot of your clients look at. I think that's quite normal right across the board. So it's been done through these progressive periods of time of eating more food, of going into, you can call them what you want, gaining phases, you know, muscle building phases, bulking phases, call them whatever you want, right? But these phases of like, we're going to focus on building tissue. How do you tackle this with your clients?
See, I think because of the social media, they are scared to eat more. They live in this skinny dieting era. Like, they want muscles, they want to look good, because, and I'm so happy when I, listen to a client, like, or a new client, I came to you because I want to build more muscles. Like, I want that. It makes me happy, but I know when they start mentioning, but I don't want to eat all that. I'm scared. Like, okay, it is hard. I know. I've been through this with you. I don't mind eating a lot because I love food. But yes, you start to be a little bit uncomfortable, but you need to embrace that. You need to embrace, because like I said, if you want a fat ass, you need to put the work in the kitchen and in the gym. And I see as well in my gym, ladies still looking the same and doing some random crap, like using the machines upside down. Like, what are you doing?
Again, this is social media though, right?
That poor Smith machine, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, and I think, again, I've got quite a few female clients who they have very successful fat loss phases, right? And listen, I understand it, because if they, like yourself, if they've been overweight in the past and things, and we've gone through this phase of losing the weight that they've always wanted to lose, now all of a sudden they feel really good about themselves, really confident, still not quite got the physique they're after. My, obviously, angle then as their coach is, right, we now need to start eating more food, and we now need to start fueling for performance and building a bit of muscle. The hardest thing that I have to encounter with, and I get it with females and guys, right, as well. It's like, it's both. But women in particular, there's a lot of friction there because they've worked really hard to lose this weight. And naturally, I understand it. Like, I'm not saying I don't understand it, but naturally they're then scared of regaining that weight when I start asking them to eat more food, in particular carbohydrates. Like, I'm always pushing carbs on my girls.
That's why the food matters.
I know. So my point is, I find that this can take me, it can take me a few months for this message to sink in. I might have to just reiterate this message in check-ins, on calls, week on week, to be like, eat more food, eat more food.
You
never
had that problem with me.
Never had that problem with you. Like, never had that problem with you.
Bring me the food.
But but I have, you know, and I've got a couple of clients I can think on top of mine. I'm still working on like 6, 12 months on, like genuinely, it's like still trying to get this message home. So how do you tackle, what's your approach there to help this sink in with your clients? I want to learn from you now. Come on.
No, all the time push the fat ass because they all want fat ass. Like, I want a fat big ass. You know, the arms, toned arms, and okay, you want this? Well, you need to eat more.
Okay.
If you don't want to eat more, have a flat ass.
Okay.
Because if you want boobs, yeah, you can go and put, but fat ass, you need to work for that.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
and it is working, to be honest. It's
good.
Working.
No, that's good. Like,
and I think a lot helped my journey because I got so lean.
Yeah.
For the blitz, for the photo shoot condition. And yes, I was lean, but not really happy because I was hungry and depleted.
Mm-hmm.
But not happy because I know that I could have more muscles and look better. Yes, I was lean, but no.
And here's the thing as well, like, and I'm sure you see this with your clients, but I've got one client who are literally just top of mind, I'm thinking about this week. She has just finished a fat loss phase. She's only like 48 kilograms. She's really light, but she's tiny. She's like 5'4" or something, and she's smaller than you. And she's just finished a fat loss phase. Like, at the end of it, she's got a lot of muscle because she's trained, so she understands the benefits of that, and she wants to build a bit of tissue now and focus on performance. But her calories at the end were about 1,100. We had to go relatively low because she's little.
Oh, God.
And I've just brought her up to like 1,600, 250 grams of carbs a day, etc., all this stuff. And she was like, oh, I'm scared. Like, I'm really scared to do this because she has worked really hard in order to get herself as lean as she is. But I was like, just do it for me and let's see where we are in a week. Okay?
Yeah.
She checked in a week later. She's actually lighter. She looks leaner. She's fuller. And that hunger is starting to go away. And this is what I say to people. I'm like, and again, it has to, I know it takes time and it takes time to this message to settle in, but you aren't, just because you're eating more food, it doesn't mean you're going to gain fat, right? Your glycogen stores are going to fill up. You're going to see more shape. You might even lose a bit of weight initially because you see that adaptation take place metabolically, right? And
that's why I keep telling my clients, the more muscle mass you will have, the less you'll have to do, like, because it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about you. So I think I shared you as an example for our Blitz group the other night as someone who has done a really good job. So even when we got you down to your photo shoot condition, so I think you came in at 56-ish. We got you down to about 53. So it was only 3 kilos, right? But 3 kilos for someone of your size is a lot. And you were super lean. But even you going down to 53 kilos, I know it's low for you, but we finished up on 1,400 calories. That was the lowest we got you to. Yeah. That's not actually that low. For someone of 53 kilos, it's not that low. And the reason it is because you've got tissue, because you've got muscle. So one of the other benefits of having muscle is you get to eat more food, you get more flexibility. Now, we've just finished a bit of a gaining phase, right? So the photo shoot was in November, end of November. Bearing in mind, we've had Christmas. You've been back to Romania for 2 weeks. You've had a week away in Malaga. You've had lots going on. But since November up to this point, we've been adding some muscle, right? And I was amazing because I shared the pictures again. And I showed your pictures from when you were 56 to 53 to where we are now, where you're like 59.
Yeah.
And at 59 kilos, now you look leaner than what you did at 56 kilos.
Yeah, and that 56 kilos, because it was the time when I was renovating my new house. So I stopped paying attention to the food. I was just, keep an eye on my calories, protein, because I have a struggle not to overeat my proteins. Yeah. But fuck the rest. And that started to show on my body. Yeah. Because I was busy with something else, with coaching, with the house. And that photos just proves that the food shows on you.
Yeah, it's not all just about protein and calories, is it? There's a little bit more to this. And like I say, it's amazing to see because you'd expect you to not look as lean at 59 in comparison to 56. But on those pictures, and I'll put them up on the screen somewhere, like you can literally see, especially around your glutes, you've added a lot of size, right? Which is obviously a focus, which is wicked. But midsection still stayed really tight. Like I say, you look leaner at 59 than you did at 56. Not 53 because you were super duper lean there, but like this is just what you can do if you treat this phase properly, if you give it the respect it deserves. So you're still planning, you're still organising, you're still looking after the quality of your food. We had you up at what, 2,500 calories on training days.
And the performance and the energy is amazing. And I don't know why people are scared of this, of eating more and eating properly, of course. And again, like when it comes to fat loss, they want the balance in the fat loss. They want, a fat loss that should take 10 weeks, 12 weeks, is drugging for 10 fucking months. Because they chasing the balance.
I'm going to ask you about that in a second. But we've, like I say, so we've just finished that. And again, I think it's, when I share with people that because I sometimes use you as an example for my other female clients, like, look at this is what you can achieve if you eat more. People are 2,500 calories, she's eating 2,500 calories. I'm like, because she's training well, she's training with intensity and she's building tissue. And if you've got yourself if you've done the diet properly, your body will then start to use calories so much better. So you mentioned there about your quality of training. I don't think a lot of people in general will ever see what it's like to train fueled, because they only train when they want to lose body fat. So if you only train when you want to lose body fat, you're training in a deficit, essentially. So your body's never actually going to get the most out of those workouts. Like, how nice is it to train with energy, with fuel, with carbs in your system?
I feel wild in that gym. To be honest, I love it. Like,
wild.
I do love, like...
We're training after this as well. So.
People struggle to go into the gym. I just love it. I love the feeling afterwards. That's why I tell my clients, like, I don't feel motivated to go in the gym. Okay, but think of the feeling afterwards.
And you know, like, I think with the gym, I'm just thinking about Louise here, because she's like,
picking on her.
No, like, she's doing really well. This is what I'm saying, but it's taken so long. So she's always said she doesn't like the gym. She doesn't like the gym. I'm like, but you will do when you start to see your physique change. And in the last few weeks, she's like, oh, look at my bum. My bum's starting to like, and I'm like, and then she goes, oh, I'm quite enjoying this gym thing now, And it's like, oh, because you're seeing the changes, right? Of course, you're not going to necessarily enjoy it in the early days, because you're building your confidence in there, and you're also just getting, you're not seeing those visible changes just yet. But when you do, when you do start to see those changes, and you start to see your physique change, and you start to see things coming together, you're like, that gives you another boost, right? So then that fresh wave of motivation comes. But no, you've just had a very successful. Well, we did a very successful photo shoot phase.
Maybe
and then
we're gonna do another one.
Well, I was going to ask you about that a bit later on. And then, of course, like you say, we've just had a really successful gaining phase as well, which is, to be fair, we could have pushed her a bit longer, but obviously you're going on holiday soon, so we're going to tidy things up a little bit for the summer.
Wear the naughty bikini.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you don't have much fat to lose, so this one will not need to. And again, this is the beauty of doing a gaining phase. Like, now you're going to be able to have a little 6-week tidy up before you go away. It won't have to be aggressive. It won't have to be intense. You don't have to lose 4 or 5 kilos. We drop a little bit of weight on high-ish calories for a diet.
Because I posted now my start of my deficit, and people message me like, how much do you want to weigh? I was like, see, this is the problem. You will have a number in your head.
The number means fuck all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to look in the mirror like, oh my God, I look fucking jacked. I will stop here, because it's not a number. I can't say I want to go down to 53. No.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, who cares about, like, does anyone ask you how, like, you will have it a lot because of your clients, but most people aren't going to be like, how much do you weigh? Because it doesn't matter. Like, the number on the floor is irrelevant.
They ask me how much I weigh, my height, my everything, how many calories, because they want to apply to them, because they want my physique and they want to do,
You think it can copy and paste over to them? Yeah, no,
that's why they asked, like, yesterday, so many messages. So what is your target? Like, where you want to go? Like, to look nice, to look like I don't have a number in my head.
And literally that, like, I didn't give you a number. When I said we were going to do the fat phase, I was like, right, we're just going to have a quick tidy up. I didn't say I want you to weigh this weight, because it doesn't matter. Like, it's actually irrelevant, because I think for you, and I've not said this out loud, but I think for you, we could probably drop 2 kilos and look great. Like, it's because you've given yourself that foundation. So we don't need to go down to those 53s again. Photo shoots, maybe you push a little bit harder, etc. Cool. So you mentioned there about balance in a fat loss phase, right? This is something that we preach about a lot, because I think the problem is if you try to have balance in a fat loss phase, as you mentioned, you're then dragging it out.
Yes.
And I did a post about this the other day, and I've actually had a lot of messages of people saying like that hit home, because I said, you know, if you just lock in, and I hate using that word, but if you lock in for like 10, 12 weeks, 8 weeks, however long it's going to fucking take you, right? But you lock in and you just do it. People might think you're a bit obsessive for that 8, 10, 12 weeks. People might think you're a bit boring for that short period of time. You might think you're a bit boring for that short period of time. But if you get really clear on the goal and why you're doing it, and if you commit to that short period of time, you will have more flexibility for the rest of the year. As an overview, as a percentage of the year, you'll be more flexible. You'll have more balance because you will have done the thing. Whereas everybody else is going to drag the arse out of a diet. It's going to be 10, 12 months. Tired, and they're constantly just trying. And it's like, I lose a pound, gain a pound, lose a pound, gain a pound, lose 2, gain 1, like whatever. It's just slow, and it's just like you're dragging it out. And yes, they might have a bit more balance, but whilst they're doing it, but they're also not getting the result they're after. So how do you tackle that with your clients?
Because I always tell them, like, okay, do you have a balance before starting the fat loss? No, because you've been eating crap. So why do you want to achieve a balance in a fat loss? Like, depending now client to client, like, okay, maybe you need to build a structure, maybe you know how to track calories, depending. Everyone is different, of course. A starting point different, but let's just focus first, you know, to do this properly.
Yeah.
And after we can increase the calories, bring some balance, focusing in the gym, building more muscle, so you can look fucking hot if you want this.
And you can have more balance.
Yeah, and you have more balance.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? I think, and we understand it's tough. Like, your photo shoot prep, there was challenges, right? Like, it's not like it's easy. We're not saying it's easy. It's definitely not. It is hard.
I was questioning my life. Like,
of course, like, you do. You absolutely do. Like, everybody does. But you get through it, and you've got so much on the opposite side. Like, your whole year will still have balance. You'll still have balance in this fat loss phase because of what we did in that 12-week period of time.
And it's not like a lifestyle, that is just a fat loss phase. And
literally what I say to everyone is, fat loss is not a lifestyle. No, it's a phase.
It's a phase. That's why stop expecting cocktails. And I don't know,
says
brunches.
You on spicy margaritas last night.
Just one and got drunk. But and after we can bring the balance and enjoy a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So, I suppose just finishing up on that gaining side of things on that, because psychologically the challenges are a little bit different, right? So in a fat loss phase, you're getting that constant like feedback that things are working because the scales are coming down, your physique's changing, the visuals are changing. So although it's hard, although you're hungry and bored and all that stuff, you are getting the visual feedback that things are working. In a gaining phase, it's a bit different because although you're eating more food and your energy level's great in the gym, etc., visually you can look a bit softer.
Yeah.
So how do you handle those like psychological kind of battles, I suppose?
I don't think I have these challenges like right now, because I think long game. Like and I enjoy the food. I maybe PMS per week when I feel
you question things.
puffier, but I am okay because I know it's for the long game and not a problem.
Well, that's it then. That's how you handle it, right?
And that's why we take pictures.
Yeah.
And for me as well, I think what gives me the motivation during this phase is the gym, the energy, how much I've been lifting last week and how much I'm lifting this week, or how much I've been lifting 4 weeks ago. And now, oh my fucking, look at me. Oh, look at my arms. Look at my ass, basically.
Yeah.
And keeps you going.
Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, because that's right? Like, it's one, you're thinking long term and you've got to. You know, when you're in that phase and you have those uncomfortable days maybe where, you know, you're eating more, you don't feel quite as lean, like that's fine because you're thinking longer term. But two, like you say, you know, you focus on the positives of what you're getting at that stage, which is training more, training harder, training more intensity, more freedom.
I post that picture and I send it to you with my back.
With your back, yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like,
yeah, it's like night and day.
I'm doing the pull-ups like 10, like just up and down. And I remember the first... I was like 6, struggling with a fart. That was it. But yeah, now I love it. I'm obsessed with the back now.
No, and smashing it as well. Cool. So I suppose what's next for your own physique stuff? I was actually going to say, is there another photo shoot on the cards potentially? What do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know I'm going to look even better.
Yeah.
The last one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna get Val on another one at some stage as well for sure. We'll get your assistant. There was something else I wanted to ask you around your physique, but I can't remember.
Building more.
No?
Yeah,
No?
we will.
Can't remember. Either way. So listen, anything else you'd like to share? Anything else you'd like to rant about, rage about? Anything we've missed?
I think just the women, they should shift their focus on building muscles, because I keep telling my ladies, like, think like you are putting on yourself gold.
Yeah.
It is gold, because like I said, these days everyone can get skinny. Every single person on this earth, but how many they can build muscles? How can you buy that? Well, depending, males, but just build muscles.
Yeah.
Because you look fucking amazing, and it's for future you. Because when you're gonna hit 100, you're gonna be 100, you'll be able to wipe your own ass because of the muscles. I know it sounds strange, but
No, it's 100% right.
And it, because I've been working with old people and got shocked, like, you know, how they had the fall, broke the hip, and that's it.
Yeah.
Gone. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. But no, I love that. Honestly, I love that message. And like you say, it is, especially nowadays with peptides and GLP-1s and things, like it's never been easier to do that stuff, right? Because you can just jab and shortcut the fat loss phase. But and I don't mean this in a horrible way at all. You can spot those people a mile off because they don't have any muscle, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is usually as well, people go on the GLP-1s, etc., whatever it might be, and they're not looking after their nutrition. So they're eating less, but there's no protein in there. They're generally not training. So you could just see it a mile off.
I have a friend. She's been on this medication. No, with nutrition, zero. Like eating still takeaways, like, and her hair started to just fall.
Yeah.
Because it was no protein. It was just
no nutrients, no fiber, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And she has to stop. And she's scared, and now she's like learning how to eat properly.
Well, this is because I'm actually a massive advocate for these, like,
because they can help.
They can really help, and I genuinely believe they've got a really important part to play. But people are viewing them wrong. Like, I actually think that you need a coach more, or not necessarily a coach. You need some advice from somewhere, from a nutritionist or something, right? More when you're on the GLP-1s than if you're not, because
but they just buying online.
I know, and this is my point, right? Because they're buying it, injecting it, losing their hunger, not eating more protein, not looking after the farm, not eating minerals and vitamins, and therefore they are, like you say, getting actually unhealthy, losing muscle tissue, losing all this stuff. Whereas if it's used properly with the right advice and the right guidance, it can be amazing for people, right?
That's why I said to my friend, like, okay, start to go to the gym.
Yeah. Get in the gym.
Get in the gym.
Yeah.
Get in the gym, sort out your nutrition, and just because this is not the way. Yeah. And if you want, you can go back to that, but sort out your nutrition.
Yeah.
And build muscles, because, girl, you are falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy, innit? Crazy. And you can see it. You can see it a mile off as well. But no, honestly, that was wicked. It was really good. And I think it's just important because, like, me and Jake talk about this stuff all the time. But as I say, sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's because we're guys, it doesn't sink home with our kind of female audience as much. So hearing it from you and, like, again, you know, if you go and follow Bianca, what's your Instagram page?
Bianca Nutrition Coach.
Bianca Nutrition Coach. You'll see exactly what we're talking about here. Bianca's a fantastic example of exactly what you should be doing, you know, and exactly what you should be focusing on. It's, you know, weight loss, fat loss is just one part of it. We talk about it consistently. We'll bang that drum forever because it is incredibly important to focus on other things. And she's a great example of that. And she gets great results with her clients as well. So Bianca Nutrition Coach on Instagram, and soon to be a YouTube channel, hopefully, as well.
Yeah, I promise. Next week.
Yeah, we're working on it. But she definitely needs to do more on there. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for listening, watching. See you on the next one. Oh, good. Smashed it. See? That was easy, wasn't it?
Yeah.